On the one hand, Allah complains human beings didn't appreciate Allah, not like He deserved to be appreciated. Now, actually I skipped an ayah in between, and I should come back to that, but now that we're in this ayah, I'll share with you. Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling the believers, you people, not only will you appreciate Allah, you will work for Him, you will struggle for Him like He deserves to be struggled for. And before I go back to the previous ayah, let me ask, all of us have to ask ourselves a very hard question. Who prays to Allah like He deserves to be prayed to? Who remembers Allah like He deserves to be remembered? Who thanks Allah like He deserves to be thanked? No matter how much we do in our life, we can't get even close to what Allah deserves. Not in gratitude, not in appreciation, not in worship, not in anything. And the hardest of those things is to struggle for the sake of Allah as He deserves to be struggled for. That sounds like an impossible like an impossible job description. How am I going to do that? And Allah put that impossible standard. He didn't just say wajahidu fillah. Jahidu fillah is hard enough. Struggle for the sake of Allah. Struggle with no goal before you except Allah. He adds haqqa jihadihi, as is worthy of Him. As is worthy. Who's going to do it as is worthy of Him? That becomes like an impossible task. So we'll leave that riddle for a second and come back to the ayah before. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. You see the passage began, Ya ayyuhan nas. Remember that? All humanity. But Allah is saying all of humanity has disappointed me. So the responsibility falls on you. Let me teach you what you will do to appreciate Allah. Here's how you appreciate Allah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Irka'u wasjudu. Make ruku', make sajda. What is both of these things referring to? Salat. The first act Allah teaches first He complained about humanity. You're not doing your job in appreciating me. You believers, it's your turn. You need to appreciate me. The first step in appreciating me will be salat. Where is your salat? How much we appreciate our salat is a good indication of how much we appreciate Allah. How active, how vigilant we are in getting up out of bed. How lazy we feel in making it to the masjid. How lazy we feel. How bored we are when the recitation is not entertaining enough. All of those are good indicators of where we stand before Allah Azza wa Jalla. Irka'u wasjudu. Make ruku' and make sajda. And irka'u wasjudu are parts of salat, but they're also attitudes. You know, somebody who doesn't know about prayer, doesn't know about the Muslim prayer. A non-Muslim guy walks by and he sees people making salat. He's going to notice these people are standing with their head down, holding their head. They're humble before somebody. Then they put their heads down like this halfway. Wow, they got even more humble. And when they got up, what happened next? Face on the ground, they got really humble. In other words, he's noticing that there's a progression in their humility to Allah, to whoever they're worshipping. They're getting even more and more and more subservient. This seems like they're appreciating their master, they appreciated him more, and they appreciated him even more. The progression of salat itself teaches us that we're supposed to evolve, grow in our humility to Allah. That's a really important point, especially if it has to do with Islamic work. You know what happens with people when they get involved with Islamic work? I'm no exception. All of us can be victim to this. The more tenured, the more experienced you get in Islamic work, the more full of yourself you get. I know what this stuff is. You're a rookie. You're a newbie. I've been a board member at the masjid for 20 years. What do these guys know? You know? I ran the MSA 2 semesters in a row. When you get experience, and you don't get more humble, you get more arrogant. Because you know, in any other job, when you have more experience, you have more credentials, you have more respect, you have more appreciation, you're worth more. Right? Allah is teaching us the exact opposite attitude. The more you grow in deen, the more humble you should get. The more humble you should get. Subhanallah. And you'll notice, it's a good check. It's a good gauge. What was Iblis's problem? Adam alayhi salam, what's on his resume? How long he's been doing so? What kind of experience he has? He gets a promotion over me. Now imagine you're a volunteer, you're helping out at the MSA at the college or at the Sunday school, you've been volunteering for 2-3 years, and they pick a new principal for the Sunday school. You even had your inauguration speech ready, and they pick this 18-year-old kid to be the principal of the Sunday school. The story of Iblis is going to repeat itself أنا خير منه. What do you mean him? I got the experience, man. I should have been the principal. That should have come to me. The story repeats itself. It's not just a story that happened a long time ago. You know? So this idea, that as the more we serve, the more we're going to become humble. The extreme of humility was shudu. Then from there, because these two things still in the end, in essence, refer to salat. They refer to salat. What about in between the salawat? وَاعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمْ, and enslave yourselves and worship your master. In other words, now that ruku' and sajda is done, that's not the only ibadah. You understand ibadah is more than that. Ibadah is an attitude. I'm a slave. I'm here to serve. Ibadah is how I walk, how I talk, how I think about myself, how I think about others. Your entire attitude gets transformed because of prayer. Prayer is actually a very big part of the Muslim's personality, not just our behavior. Now, prayer, we think of it as a behavior. But prayer, actually, the daily salawat, they're supposed to have a really direct effect on how we think, our attitudes, our thought process, our mentality. Between Dhuhr and Asr, my thoughts are going to be impacted by the Dhuhr prayer. Between Asr and Maghrib, my thoughts, my priorities are going to be impacted by the Asr prayer. It's the way a Muslim carries himself as a abd. That's shaped. That's what the salawat do. You know how pillars hold a building together? The salawat hold our day together. They hold our day together. In between hours are dictated by what quality of salat we have. Now if the salat itself becomes empty, if the salat becomes just cardiovascular exercise, it just becomes a review session for Surah Al-Ikhlas and Surah Al-Kawthar, because you don't have time for anything more. You know? If it just becomes that, you're not going to see a change in your personality. And what is that change in your personality? You become more and more of a abd. Now, important. What's the most humiliating role a human being can play in this world? You know, there's the role of father, son, employer, employee, government, people, husband, wife. What's the most humiliating role in this world? Slave. There's no more humiliating role. The role that has no pride in it whatsoever. Even the janitor can have pride because he has a new broom. He's the head janitor of the building. He can have pride. He can be proud of his job. Who has no pride whatsoever, no right to have any pride whatsoever? Slave. Allah Azza wa Jal brought us after ruku' and sujood. Now you are ready for real humility. وَاعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمْ. Enslave yourselves, humble yourselves completely and absolutely. Have the attitude, the personality, the lifestyle of a slave before your master. Now he adds, this is important, now he adds, وَافْعَلُوا الْخَيْرَ, and do good. Al-khayru li akhirik. The khayr is good is for someone other than you. Okay? People are good to their family, they're good to their neighbor, they're good to their brother, their sister, their community, etc., etc. The idea of khayr is not for yourself, the idea of khayr is for others. So far, all of the things Allah talked about in this ayah were for who? Yourself. Ruku' is for yourself, sujood is for yourself, ibadah is for yourself, ubudiyya also for yourself. But now Allah is transitioning to af'alul khayr. Now do good. Do good. If'alul khayr. And it's interesting, Allah didn't even say i'malul khayr. He says if'alul khayr. Fi'l is a'am. Any kind of good. Amal is bigger, and amal also requires more thought. Take any opportunity. It becomes subconscious for you to do good deeds to others.